Okay, so today this is the second video for Vlogmas, and I just want to do a quick tutorial on how I use color replace in an image. Color replace is it's probably my favorite tool in Photoshop. So the first thing you do is you're going to want to duplicate your background layer, go to Image, Adjustments, Replace Color. It's going to pop up and you're automatically going to have an eyedropper tool, and you just select the color that you want to change or replace. And in this image, I want to get rid of the green and make it look more orangey red to fit with the autumn nature of this picture. And so here on this fuzziness slider, you can slide this around to see how much it's going to affect in your image. And I just want to get rid of the greens. I don't want to affect her skin tone or her hair. So I just want to get enough to where it's changing the greens in my image. So you're gonna, you can change the color with the hue slider, and also there's two other eyedroppers, one with a plus sign to add in more colors to affect more in your image, or a negative minus sign to get rid of a color that you don't want to affect by using the sliders. So I take the saturation down to make it look more natural so it's not as vibrant, and the lightness slider is going to take it darker or lighter, and I like to make mine a little bit darker because I feel like it looks a little bit more natural that way. And that's basically how you use it. It's pretty simple, but it can give you some really awesome results, and it even gets those tiny little green pieces in the front there that I shot through the leaves with. I'm going to put a layer mask on this background with the color replace on it because I feel like it's affected her eye color and I don't want it to. So I put a layer mask on. I'm using my brush tool, and I'm going to use it on the normal mode with 100% opacity, and click on black and just basically erase it off of her eyes and her eyebrows because I don't want it to change the color of her eyes. I'm also going to erase it a bit off of her hair and her face, but on a lower opacity because I feel like that's going to give a more natural result as opposed to, because sometimes there's a color cast on skin from the surroundings, and if you change it, there can still be, if you erase it off their skin 100%, there's still going to be that color cast in their skin, and it's going to look unnatural. And I want it to look like the leaves all behind her were an orangey red autumn color. And I'm also going to erase it a bit off of the leaves on her crown because the gold leaves now have a reddish pinkish tint. So I'm just going to get rid of that with my layer mask. Super simple and easy. And I also see a bit of green spots in the background that weren't changed by the first color replace. So basically all I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate that background layer with the color replace on it and use my clone stamp tool on the mode color and take the opacity down around the 30s or so and go in and clone stamp onto those green pieces on a lower opacity. I don't want to completely cover them up, but I do want to make them less green and more red. I'm just going to go around the image to make sure I didn't miss any green spots or some color castings that I don't like to make it more orange-red. And the difference is really subtle, but it's going to make me a lot happier. And this is basically how I use color replace. It's really simple, but it can give you some really great results and really kind of magical, or it can be used in an even more simpler way. It's really just up to you, but it's just a really fun tool to use in Photoshop. And so I hope this kind of helped you, maybe taught you a new technique or showed you a little bit more into how I retouch images. And I will see you tomorrow.